everyone. I'm so excited to be going live today with my beautiful client, Candida, who is a client of the Plantiful Goddess Program, the second round. And as we're almost at the end of the program, I wanted to interview her and I wanted her to tell you her experience in the program and the amazing results that she has achieved, because this girl has had some amazing results and I'm very, very excited for her to share that with you. Now, in case you're wondering, what is the Plantiful Goddess Program? The Plantiful Goddess Program is my coaching program, which is a very holistic and transformative coaching program. And I work with women who want to really change their health and life. And a lot of women come to me because they have health goals, such as wanting to lose weight. But I also have a lot of women that come to me because they just want to feel and be healthier. And so this is what we do. And it's a very beautiful experience to be part of it, just because you're going to see that so many things for you are changing within the program. So let me get Candida on here. Hello, there we are. Hi, Candida.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Amazing. Yeah. Excited to talk to you, and I'm so excited to share your experience with us and to just share a little bit more about yourself. So I think the best thing for you to do is kind of tell us a little bit more about you, where you're from, what you do, and also why you decided to join the Plantiful Goddess Program.
Perfect. Yeah. My name is Candida and I'm 46 years old. I'm from the heart of the Midwest in the United States, right near St. Louis, Missouri on the Illinois side. I am a dental hygienist. I work in private practice and I also teach dental hygiene at our community college here in town, and which I love doing both. And I think the reason why I joined is because I'd been vegan for about 1.5 years before. And I just decided that I was 45 at the time. Once I realized my age, I started thinking that I really wanted to be the healthiest and the best that I could be heading into the next half of my life. So I started just kind of thinking about it. And then one of the St. Louis vegan groups that I belong to on St. Louis, somebody else had asked the question about a vegan nutritionist or vegan health coach. And so your name popped up a couple times. So I decided to follow you on Instagram. And then after you reached out to me and we kind of chatted, and then we had a one-on-one talk, and it just felt like you were really listening and you were really hearing what I was saying and what I wanted out of things. And I just decided to join right then. So, and I was really excited to do that because I'm always interested in investing in bettering myself, and knew I just needed to take the nutrition part to the next level. And I didn't even realize the other bonuses I would get out of it all.
Yes, I loved our call. I loved the fact that you found me through a group that I didn't even know existed. And I remember, I think you sent me a screenshot and you were like, yeah, these people talk about you. And they're actually like, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like for you, it's very important to work with referrals, or like someone that kind of has had an experience with someone before. So I'm glad that you trusted that gut instinct. And I'm so happy that you joined. And I know at this point, you as well just said it, it's more than just nutrition. And that's also what I told you from the beginning. But going back to that nutrition aspect and also to your health goals, what was it that you on a health goal and a physical level wanted to achieve?
I really wanted to be happy with my body, how it looked, how it felt, how it was functioning. And I also I knew that I wasn't living the healthiest, even though I was, eating vegan and doing all of those things. I knew it wasn't the healthiest, I mean, Oreos are vegan. So, let's not kid ourselves. I was, doing that and eating a lot more processed things too. And so I kind of wanted to take that aspect and just take it to the next level. There's a lot of health concerns in my family genetically. So I wanted to make sure that I could do whatever I could to help myself be just the healthiest, like I said, moving into this next part. And I've gone ups and downs with dieting and exercising and all of those things, but nothing was really consistent. And I would always, my friends joke that I'm a sprinter and not a marathoner. I go in hot and heavy, but then it usually kind of fades off. So I wanted something that would help me maintain this in a very doable and consistent way. And I feel like this program really has. It's given me the tools to take forward for the rest of my life.
Now that we know your goals and the goals that you had, what has changed for you in terms of those goals?
Well, now I really feel like there's a lot more work on why I lose that motivation and why I feel like it's okay to kind of slack off. I've learned to, dig deep inside to find out, growing up, what expectations were on me, what expectations weren't on me, all of those things that kind of feed into, my inner dialogue. And I feel like this program has helped me open up those channels and understand how to work through those and process those in a very positive and beneficial way.
Yes, I love this. So I know you love to share your wins with us always.
Mm-hmm.
On Facebook, but also with us. When I say us, it's me and my assistant coach, Annie. And I feel like every single week you're like, yes, this and that. And like so many great things are happening. And it's, you're such a positive person in general. And like you always see the positive in so many things, despite so many things that were happening. And I know you had surgery and there was a lot going on for you that of course, it's a little bit stressful and emotionally overwhelming. But if you were to kind of summarize some of your favorite wins that you have experienced in the program so far and like transformational wins, what would those be?
I think the biggest win I've had is just genuinely feeling comfortable in my skin and in the reflection that I see back. I've never had super low self-esteem, but I've always just been like, okay, this is just who I am. It's fine, not really actually liking and embracing it. And yes, losing weight was a goal for me too. I knew I needed to lose that weight. It helps my back whenever I lose weight and I'm more physically fit. So that was huge. And I've already lost 17 pounds just doing that. But really just feeling comfortable in my skin, feeling comfortable in the clothes that I'm wearing, and just having that overall sense of happy with my body and what it's doing for me and how it's moving forward, and more embracing my natural self. I'm letting my hair grow out. I'm not dyeing it anymore. I just feel like I'm trying to embrace the person that I am and just enjoy it. And I feel like that's kind of where my positivity comes from too. You only have this one body, you only have this one life. So it's important to fuel it properly, treat it well, and just make sure that you're doing what you can. And it's not a chore to do that anymore. It feels good to do that.
A lot of people that I speak to, no matter what age they are, they're like, oh yeah, dieting is so hard. I'm going to starve myself and I have to work out so much. And it's like, oh, it's so hard, and I'm going to not be able to eat my favorite foods. How has that experience been for you?
I mean, this has opened my eyes to foods that I didn't even know I really, really loved. I mean, I've been eating way more tofu and being able to cook it in a way that I really like it. The lentils, all of the things. I've always been a huge fruit and vegetable eater, so that part was great, but realizing how to get my nutrition in other ways too, being able to eat good things and not deprive myself of anything. I haven't felt deprived at all. I've actually felt like sometimes I'm eating too much and eating, but yeah, it's been great.
And how has it been with your workouts? Because I remember the very first progress picture, I was like, Candida, did you see that your posture improved? Like, wait a second. I didn't even see that until you pointed it out. So how has that been for you?
Oh, that's been really one of the best things that I've gained from this too, is just being more consistent in that working out. And if I have a week or a day that I don't feel like I can do the actual weight training and cardio exercises, I always make sure that I do some yoga exercises, or even spending that time doing meditations to kind of get my mind and everything else in the right place to move on. And I just feel so much stronger. And like I said, just really more consistent with that too. That the progress pic, whenever I had that posture, I was like, that's crazy. And that's the thing too. My job is very physically demanding on my body and on my back. So this has just helped me. The exercises that you've given me have really helped whenever I'm having a day that I feel like my back is getting stiff or my body's not feeling well, that I can just do on my lunch break. I can do in between patients and make it feel better for the rest of the day. So that's been huge too. And I always get such great feelings from working out. It's just sometimes that first push to do it is always the hardest. And I feel like now I'm more excited to do the workouts. Like I said, even if I don't physically feel like I can't do something, I at least do the meditation. I spend that time with myself, and I really, really enjoy that.
I love this. I love everything that you're saying. Also, I want to talk a little bit more about like the work that we do that a lot of people don't even know that we're doing it. So like a lot of people are like, oh, I want to lose weight. Let's go to Jess's program. I'm going to do it. But you know, on our calls, we don't talk all the time about weight loss and about nutrition and about training. We talk about it in separate calls. It's an aspect of it, and you have your content pieces and all of that on that. But we do a lot of inner healing work, a lot of, you know, mindfulness, a lot of mindset work, personal development. So why would you say this is an important aspect for anyone that goes on their health journey?
If you don't know the motivation, if you don't do the inside work, it's just putting a Band-Aid on it. It's not getting down to the root of it and finding your motivation, finding your reasons why, and realizing why you start something and then stop after a while, or all of those things too. So that's been huge for me, that I feel like on a surface level, I've known those things, but never have had anybody to guide me through the process of figuring those things out, of asking the right questions, writing, journaling the right things, and getting down to the root of the problem. And not necessarily problem, I don't want to say, but just getting down to the root of what is it in my upbringing or in the things surrounding me that caused me to react the way that I do to things. And this has made me see things in a whole new way, to just open myself up to really digging deep and understanding, you know, my core beliefs, my core values, and my goals that I want to set for myself, and the motivation to get there, and the tools to help me do it. And that's been huge for me too. I really just I can't even put into words how unexpected all of that was. I mean, I read the beginning, you know, I read all the stuff that you gave me at the beginning, like what I'm going to get out of here and how it's going to work. But until you actually are on the calls and do the work, you just can't understand how invaluable that is to this whole process.
I'm so happy to hear that, because it's so like, that's why I have these conversations with you and with other clients, because how do I put this? Like,
yeah.
I know changing lives, and I know this is having such a big impact, but how do I put this into words? It's so hard.
Right. It's, yeah.
And I remember also when we were on our first one-on-one call, you said, yeah, I've been doing a lot of mindset work already, and I've been, you know, reading books and stuff like that. So what would you say is the difference between doing it on your own and being in a program like this, where we dive a little, you know, not a little deeper, like a lot deeper? So what would you say is the difference between those two?
Oh, huge. I've been reading self-help books for years and years, and, you know, and going with that, and even trying to journal on my own, but having somebody there to walk me through those steps, and to, when I write something down, you know, go deeper than just what I've written down or what I say out loud. I mean, you just can't put a price on that. It's really hard to, you know, quantify that. But when you're listening to somebody else tell you what worked for them, it may not be what works for me. And that was often the case. But when somebody knows me, knows my inner thoughts, and can give me that personal feedback, that's whenever the real work starts. And that's whenever, you know, that happens, of learning, okay, you know, so let's ask this and let's turn that around this way. And I mean, it's just been, you know, it's really just been it's been way more mind opening and mind blowing than I really even expected. And one part too that I definitely want to touch on is your work with your menstrual cycles, which, you know, as me, I'm going through, you know, perimenopause. So it's one of those things too that I didn't realize how much benefit I would even get out of that too. Eating the right things and treating my body the right way during different cycles, whether I'm having them or whether I'm not having them, is so important too. And I wish I had learned about this whenever I was in my 20s versus, you know, in my mid 40s now. But I mean, it's never too late to learn about those things and to really do the work on that as well. And so that's been really, really helpful.
Have you shared this stuff on the menstrual cycle with your daughter as well?
I have not yet. She just started a new job and a new career. So whenever she comes into town and we have a moment, I definitely will be giving her this information, because it'll definitely really help her too and start her off on the right track. But yeah, for sure. But she's seen the work that I've done elsewhere and has been really excited for me too. And she's the one who turned me on to being vegan. So that's been exciting too. So it's kind of full circle.
So besides that, what would you say, since we've been doing all of this work, have you seen any other shifts in your life so far, or in your energy, or just generally like in the way you show up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I teach dental hygiene, and then I also work in private practice. And I was kind of wanting to do a shift from a little less teaching and a little more working in private practice. So I just started kind of like thinking about that, what that would mean, how I would get there. And I just started really thinking about that. And you talk a lot about manifesting things for yourself. And I just said out loud to myself, but I said it out loud, like, okay, I really would love to work an extra day or two in private practice and kind of shift that. And then literally the next week it happened. You know, I had this opportunity that just came. The dentist I worked for said, hey, we have this opening. Do you want to take it? And it just, you know, it's like mind over matter. And, you know, if you think it out loud, it can happen. And so, yeah, it's just really positive for me in that aspect as well. And I've really been trying to like, okay, what do I want to do next? You know, what other goals do I want to achieve with this? Where do I see my career? Where do I see, you know, just my relationships, and trying to show up more, you know, to my friends and other people in my life. So yeah, it just is it's like a whole mind switch, a mind change of seeing things differently. Like it doesn't change me or my personality, but it really helps to cultivate this in a more positive way, if that makes sense.
Yes, I appreciate you sharing so much about yourself and like seeing this. And I'm so glad that we're talking right now, because of course a lot of times, you know, we don't get a lot of like these talks. We are in those calls and we are on Vox, like seeing your face and like talking about so much more beautiful and see you at the same time. And it's just been so beautiful having you on this and seeing those changes and seeing you transform. And like, despite challenges, like you always show up, you always do it. And I think you can also be very proud of yourself for showing up, because this is what you said as well, that the black and white of like jumping into something and then not doing it again. Where spoke about, but here you are like showing up on every call, of course, when you can, because of shifts, being there, doing the homework, you know, communicating with us. And that's when, of course, you see the changes, right? Because you need to like stay true to yourself and to to the changes that you want to achieve. So my next question would be, what would you say is your favorite part or has been your favorite part about the program?
I think the connection with you and Annie and the rest of the girls on here, and seeing everybody and hearing everybody else's stories and how being in this program has changed their lives, and see how it is changing their lives, and just that human connection that reading a self-help book or listening to a podcast or going to the gym and having a personal trainer or going to see a nutritionist or a doctor, it doesn't combine everything in this way. I think that's been my favorite thing. Like, this is a holistic, whole body transformation, mind, body, soul, and energy. And I really feel like that's been my favorite thing, is just having all of the pieces of the puzzle and to put together, and to see that in other people too. It's been really exciting. You know, I'm a big person that I believe we all can have everything we want. We all get a piece of the pie. We all can be happy for each other. So I'm excited when other people are achieving their goals too, and seeing them open up, and that just kind of fuels me too. That helps me to stay motivated and stay on the course, and just the connections. I've really enjoyed that.
Very, very true. And it's so, so important. Oftentimes it can feel so lonely having to do it on your own. And the fact that we have those weekly calls, then we have the additional expert calls, and we have the calls that we have with Annie. I think this just shows like there's always support, and you always and also of course you and me talk privately, and with Annie we talk privately. You have your accountability partners as well that you can talk to. So there's always support, and you never feel like you will be left alone. And if there is a problem, you can always reach out if you have a question with the tofu that you had, right?
Absolutely.
Figure that out.
Yes.
There's always things that, when you do it on your own, so much harder to lose the motivation, to feel like you're stuck, to feel like no one understands you. And here you are surrounded by people that are on the same journey as you, or have done it before you did it, right? So that's why I think it has so much value as well, of course, to share and to what you say, celebrate each other. I think that's the most part about it. Celebrate each other and celebrate the wins and see everyone just grow. Okay, so last question. I feel like we're rushing to this, so but you should much because you're which I so appreciate. So last question for you, Candida. What are some of your last personal goals that you would like to work on? What do you feel like, okay, some pieces are still missing to this entire puzzle?
I think for me, and I think it's always going to be a work in progress, is just making sure that my body is the healthiest that it can be in terms of getting older and having, being able to hurt myself easier. So I really feel like that fitness part for me, and making sure that my body is strong, doing the weightlifting and doing those things, are something that I'm just always going to have to really be conscious about. And I'm not scared or nervous about that. I just know that that's part that I have to do, because I've gotten into such a great rhythm with the meditations and the eating and the nutrition part. I feel like just making sure that I'm being careful with my workouts is just something that I'm going to have to work on. So I think that's my next goal, is to just make sure that I'm super fit and strong.
But you have the foundation already.
Absolutely.
Any last words, anything that you want to say as a last thing that I didn't ask you?
No, nothing that you didn't ask me. I just really feel like if anybody's nervous about joining, I'm happy to talk to people even one-on-one. I really feel like this could benefit everybody in every phase of their life. It's just, I was a little nervous being with a bunch of people much younger than me, some, the same age as my daughter, but I really feel that I benefited from everybody's viewpoint and everybody's aspect. And, hopefully they can see me in my life and my phase of life too. So I really feel like just don't be scared to do it. It's really, like I said, I can't put into words how much I've gotten out of this. So I really appreciate you, Jess.
I appreciate you as well. And I love seeing you grow so much. And I love seeing you transform and like all of your wins. I celebrate you so much every single time. And I'm honestly so grateful for you. Hopefully one day we will meet and like we can have some amazing vegan dinner.
Yes.
And again, appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being on here and sharing all of these beautiful words. I appreciate that. And have a wonderful weekend. And I'll
You
talk.
too. Bye.
Bye bye, Candida.